The Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 2, Part 1, The Creed of the Aryan Fighter. The answer of the Divine Teacher to the first flood of Arjuna's passionate self-questioning, his shrinking from slaughter, his sense of sorrow and sin, his grieving for an empty and desolate life, his forecast of evil results of an evil deed, is a strongly worded rebuke. All this, it is replied, is confusion of mind and delusion, a weakness of the heart, an unmanliness, a fall from the virility of the fighter and the hero. Not this was fitting in the son of Pritha. Not thus should the champion and chief hope of a righteous cause abandon it in the hour of crisis and peril, or suffer the sudden amazement of his hardened senses, the clouding of his reason, and the downfall of his will, to betray him into the casting away of his divine weapons and the refusal of his God-given work. This is not the way cherished and followed by the Aryan man. This mood came not from heaven, nor can it lead to heaven, and on earth it is the forfeiting of the glory that waits upon strength and heroism and noble works. Let him put from him this weak and self-indulgent pity. Let him rise and smite his enemies. It is the creed of the Aryan fighter. Know God, it says, know thyself, help man, protect the right, do without fear or weakness or faltering thy work of battle in the world. Thou art the eternal and imperishable spirit. Thy soul is here on its upward path to immortality. Life and death are nothing. Sorrow and wounds and suffering are nothing. For these things have to be conquered and overcome. Look not at thy own pleasure and gain and profit, but above and around, above at the shining summits to which thou climbest, around at this world of battle and trial, in which good and evil, progress and retrogression are locked in stern conflict. Men call to thee, their strong man, their hero, for help. Help then, fight, destroy when by destruction the world must advance, but hate not that which thou destroyest, neither grieve for all those who perish. Know everywhere the one self. Know all to be immortal souls, and the body to be but dust. Do thy work with a calm, strong, and equal spirit. Fight and fall nobly, or conquer mightily. For this is the work that God and thy nature have given to thee to accomplish.
Sanjaya uvacha tan tatha kripaya masrupurna kulekshanam vishidantamidam vakyamuvacha madhusudanaha. Sri Bhagavan uvacha kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupasthitam anaryajushtamassvargyamakirtikaramarjuna klaibyammasmagamah partha naitattvaihyupapadyate shudram hridayadaurbalyan tyaktvottishta parantapa. Arjuna uvacha katham bhishmamaham sankhye dronancha madhusudana ishubhe pratiyotsyami pujarthavarisuudana guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhuktum bhaikshyamapi haloke hatvarthakamanustu guru nihaiva bhungiya bhogan rudhirapradigdhan na chaitadvidmah kataranno gariyo yadva jayema yadiva no jayeyuhu याने वहत्वा नदीजीवशामस्ते वस्थिताः प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमान् त्वां प्रपन्नं न हि प्रपश्यामि ममापनुद्याद् यच्छोकमुच्छोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमा वसपत्नवृद्धं राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यं। संजय उवाच एवमुक्त्वा ऋषिकेशं गुडाकेशः परन्तप न योत्स्य इति गोविन्दमुक्त्वा तूष्णीं बभूवः। तमुवाच ऋषिकेशः प्रहसन्निव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तमिदं वचः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासून गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पण्डिताः। न त्वेवाहं जातुनासं न त्वन्नेमे जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम्। देहिनोऽस्मि यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तिर्धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति। मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्णसुखदुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्यास्तांस्तितिक्षस्व भारत। यं हिनं व्यथयन्त्येते पुरुषं पुरुषर्षभ समदुःखसुखं धीरं सोमृतत्वाय कल्पते। नासतो विद्यते भावो नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तस्त्वनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः। अविनाशि तु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति। अन्तवन्त इमे देहा नित्यस्योक्ताः शरीरिणः अनाशिनो प्रमेयस्य तस्माद्युध्यस्व भारत। य एनं वेत्ति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् उभौ तौ न विजानीतो नायं हन्ति न हन्यते। न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः। अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे। वेदाविनाशिनं नित्यं य एनमजमव्ययं कथं स पुरुषः पार्थ कङ्घातयति हन्तिकं। वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णान्यन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि। नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापो न शोषयति मारुतः। अच्छेद्योऽयमदाह्योऽयमक्लेद्यो शोष्य एव च नित्यः सर्वगतस्थाणुरचलोऽयं सनातनः। अव्यक्तोऽयमचिन्त्योऽयमविकार्योऽयमुच्यते तस्मादेवं विदित्वैनं नानुशोचितुमर्हसि। तथा चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि। जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युर्ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि। अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तनिधनान्येव तत्र का परिदेवना। आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवद्वदति तथैव चान्यः। आश्चर्यवच्चैनमन्यशृणोति श्रुत्वाप्येनं वेद न चैव कश्चित्। देही नित्यमवध्योऽयं देहे सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि स्वधर्ममपि चावेक्ष्य न विकम्पितुमर्हसि धर्म्याधियुद्धात् श्रेयोऽन्यत्क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते यदृच्छया चोपपन्नं स्वर्गद्वारमुपावृतं सुखिनः क्षत्रियाः पार्थो लभन्ते युद्धमीदृशम् अथ चेत् त्वमिमं धर्म्यं सङ्ग्रामं न करिष्यसि ततः स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापमवाप्स्यसि अकीर्तिं चापि भूतानि कथयिष्यन्ति ते व्ययाम् सम्भावितस्य चाकीर्तिर्मरणादतिरिच्यते भयादरणादुपरतं मन्स्यन्ते त्वां महारथाः येषां च त्वं बहुमतो भूत्वा यास्यसि लाघवम् अवाच्यवादांश्च बहून् वदिष्यन्ति तवाहिताः निन्दन्तस्तव सामर्थ्यं ततो दुःखतरं नु किम् हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गं जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महीम् तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयः सुखदुःखे समे कृत्वा लाभालाभौ जयाजयौ ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व नैवं पापमवाप्स्यसि.
The creed of the Aryan fighter. Sanjaya said, to him thus by pity invaded, his eyes full and distressed with tears, his heart overcome by depression and discouragement, Madhusudana spoke these words. The blessed Lord said, whence has come to thee this dejection, this stain and darkness of the soul in the hour of difficulty and peril, O Arjuna? This is not the way cherished by the Aryan man. This mood came not from heaven, nor can it lead to heaven, and on earth it is the forfeiting of glory. Fall not from the virility of the fighter and the hero, O Partha. It is not fitting in thee. Shake off this paltry faint-heartedness. Stand up, Parantapa, scourge of the foes. Arjuna said, how, O Madhusudana, shall I strike Bhishma and Drona with weapons in battle? They who are worthy of worship, O slayer of foes. Better in this world to live even on alms than to slay these high-souled gurus. Slaying these gurus, I should taste of blood-stained enjoyments even in this world. Nor do I know which for us is better, that we conquer them or they conquer us. Before us stand the Dhritarashtrians, whom having slain we should not care to live. It is poorness of spirit that has smitten away from me my true heroic nature. My whole consciousness is bewildered in its view of right and wrong. I ask thee which may be the better. That tell me decisively. I take refuge as a disciple with thee. Enlighten me. I see not what shall thrust from me the sorrow that dries up the senses, even if I should attain rich and unrivaled kingdom on earth, or even the sovereignty of the gods. Sanjaya said, Gudakesha, terror of his foes, having thus spoken to Hrishikesha, said to him, I will not fight, and became silent. To him thus depressed and discouraged, Hrishikesha, smiling as it were, O Bharata, spoke these words between the two armies. The blessed Lord said, Thou grievest for those that should not be grieved for, yet speakest words of wisdom. The enlightened man does not mourn either for the living or for the dead. It is not true that at any time I was not, nor thou, nor these kings of man, nor is it true that any of us shall ever cease to be hereafter. As the soul passes physically through childhood and youth and age, so it passes on to the changing of the body. The self-composed man does not allow himself to be disturbed and blinded by this. The material touches, O son of Kunti, giving cold and heat, pleasure and pain, things transient which come and go, these learn to endure, O Bharata. The man whom these do not trouble nor pain, O lion-hearted among men, the firm and wise who is equal in pleasure and suffering, makes himself apt for immortality. That which really is cannot go out of existence, just as that which is non-existent cannot come into being. The end of this opposition of is and is not has been perceived by the seers of essential truth. Know that to be imperishable by which all this is extended. Who can slay the immortal spirit? Finite bodies have an end, but that which possesses and uses the body is infinite, illimitable, eternal, indestructible. Therefore fight, O Bharata. He who regards this, the soul, as a slayer, and he who thinks it is slain, both of them fail to perceive the truth. It does not slay, nor is it slain. This is not born, nor does it die, nor is it a thing that comes into being once, and passing away will never come into being again. It is unborn, ancient, sempiternal. It is not slain with the slaying of the body. Who knows it as immortal, eternal, imperishable spiritual existence, how can that man slay, O Partha, or cause to be slain? The embodied soul casts away old and takes up new bodies, as a man changes worn-out raiment for new. Weapons cannot cleave it, nor the fire burn, nor do the waters drench it, nor the wind dry. It is uncleavable, it is incombustible, it can neither be drenched nor dried, eternally stable, immobile, all-pervading. It is forever and forever. It is unmanifest, it is unthinkable, it is immutable. So it is described by the Shrutis. Therefore, knowing it as such, thou shouldst not grieve. Even if thou thinkest of it, the self, as being constantly subject to birth and death, still, O mighty arm, thou shouldst not grieve. For certain is death for the born, and certain is birth for the dead. Therefore, what is inevitable ought not to be a cause of thy sorrow. Beings are unmanifest in the beginning, manifest in the middle, O Bharata. Unmanifest likewise are they in disintegration. What is there to be grieved at? One sees it as a mystery, or one speaks of it or hears of it as a mystery. None knows it. This dweller in the body of everyone is eternal and indestructible, O Bharata. Therefore thou shouldst not grieve for any creature. Further, looking to thine own law of action, thou shouldst not tremble. There is no greater good for the Kshatriya than righteous battle. When such a battle comes to them of itself like the open gate of heaven, happy are the Kshatriyas then. But if thou dost not this battle for the right, then hast thou abandoned thy duty, and virtue and thy glory, and sin shall be thy portion. Besides, men will recount thy perpetual disgrace, and to one in noble station, dishonor is worse than death. The mighty men will think thee fled from the battle through fear, and thou, that wast highly esteemed by them, wilt allow a smirch to fall on thy honor. Many unseemly words will be spoken by thy enemies, slandering thy strength. What is worse grief than that? Slain thou shalt win heaven, Victorious thou shalt enjoy the earth. Therefore arise, O son of Kunti, resolved upon battle. Make grief and happiness, loss and gain, victory and defeat equal to thy soul, and then turn to battle. So shalt thou not incur sin.